It's March 14. We are at the Sea of Galilee. This is Capernaum, the city of Jesus. And we are alone. Although the tourists can enter now to Israel, we are the first one. Yeah. We actually woke up early from Tel Aviv to here. What we can see here, 3 years of his life, Jesus visited that place. And before we will talk about the white synagogue and the floating church, let's go to the Sea of Galilee.
Okay. The floating church.
It is a floating church, isn't it?
Is that built by the Franciscans too?
Built by the Franciscans at the night. It is above the house of St. Peter. St. Peter's mother-in-law.
And the Sea of Galilee is 400 feet below sea level?
More, 600 feet.
Oh, 600 feet.
You know, I wonder how they keep these monasteries warm with these cold stones. How do they keep them warm?
It's a good question. I don't know.
They said they have fireplaces.
I'm almost sure that they have, but or heater, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the best answer that I can give you.
The wind's all blowing.
No, but usually it's hot here. Remember?
Yes.
Then they actually prefer the cold weather.
Yes. It is normally hot.
Okay.
Are you far away from me because of the video? All right. Then I want you to look at that. What is that small place?
Oh, the little dock.
Yes, this is the harbor of Capernaum.
Ah, yes.
Think about you. Jesus is now entering, and it is St. Peter. Andreas say, what he's going to say?
He says, come and join me to be fishers of men.
And they did it without asking any questions.
Right.
And this is such an amazing thing. Then you can see the rough Sea of Galilee.
Right.
Because a lot of the time people actually look at the Sea of Galilee and say, how can it be rough? Remember the storm in the sea.
Right. Yep.
And let's go to the center of it. And I want you to see something important. Why St. Peter? Come on, say whatever you want.
How beautiful it is.
It is beautiful, especially when we are alone here.
Yes, yeah.
And it's rough. I mean, it's a stormy day in a way.
Yes.
Then I want to go there because you can see most of the Sea of Galilee, which is not a sea, it's a small lake. Let's face it, you came from America. Your smallest lake is bigger than the Sea of Galilee.
But not the same amount of history.
Yes, but the story is here.
Is this area known to have pretty good fishing?
Yes, and in that area, especially in that area, because it's warmer, and that's why it was easier to catch fish there.
Because it's more shallow.
Yeah. Then you can sit here if you want. But the first question will be, why he choose Capernaum? I mean, you can choose different cities.
Because of the fishing.
The fish can be a very good idea. First of all, he wasn't a very wanted guy in Nazareth. Remember what they did to him.
Right.
But he could choose so many places. Let me show you something. This is a border between 2 countries. That is today the Golan Heights, which used to be Syria until 1967. But that was owned by one son of King Herod Philippus. That side was the Jewish side, belongs to other son of King Herod. No, to be honest, the city, Antonius. Yeah. Then, in that case, he knew that if that son there will be mad at him, he will just step one step to the left. And if the other one, you got a message. But he chose to be here because he knew that he might be the second one. He came to Capernaum immediately after John the Baptist was beheaded. Then he knew that he must save himself. And let's face it, I mean, look at that view. This is an amazing place to be. And that was the highway. I mean, do you remember that the Bible mentioned that Matthew was a tax collector here? It's like a border between the 2 countries. You have to pay tax. There it is, Capernaum.
Well, tax collectors were despised back then. They were disliked because they would steal historic from the
Yeah.
taxpayers.
Guys, Stephen knows a lot. We can learn from Stephen.
I know. 40
Yeah. No, I want them to know it.
The only thing they're telling me, I'm saying I know that.
Yes. Then what we can see from here. Remember the cliff? That is Magdala, the city of Mary Magdalene. And we're going to visit it later on. That's where we found two synagogues. One 10 or 15 years ago, the other one a year ago. They're still excavating. And then the land of Jesus ended in the other side. Remember that we went to the other side? Yeah, remember that. Now the other side, it's like double meaning. That is the first side, he was here, and then he went to the other side.
Yeah.
But that was a Jewish place, and that wasn't a Jewish
There
place.
was a big crowd waiting for him over there.
And remember the miracles? No, the miracles that happened here, at the other side, with the pigs.
Yeah, they were jump over the field.
Yeah, but pigs in Israel? Are you crazy? It's kosher. That side you won't find pigs. Here you could find a lunatic man with so many bad spirits to enter to that. There you can find it. Here, the Jewish side you couldn't. And the first one who knew who was Jesus was a lunatic guy. What do you want from us, Son of God? Demon possessed. They knew. The others didn't. True. Then it's, yes, true. Then in that case, now you saw a little bit of the northern part of the Sea of Galilee. Can we enter to the village? And can I continue doing, no, don't worry. Can I continue taking video? Right.
I just want to
Let's
touch the
get some
water.
pictures.
All right. Now, okay, be careful, please. Touching the water. Many years ago, it was difficult because it was low. Now, when you're doing it. How should I say it? Carefully. Try not to fall. Actually, I'm following you with a video. It can be a very good YouTube video when you will see someone falling into the Sea of Galilee. Is it cold? It is cold.
It's not a cold no ocean.
Oh, wait, I need to take
chilly.
It is chilly. Stephen, be careful. Usually I'm supposed to warn you from doing it, but the sea level reached the top. Oh, wait, are you taking pictures of him?
We're going to take a picture.
Oh, wait, yeah. Let's do that before the Franciscan's brother will come. No, stay there. Stephen, stay there. We want to take a picture of you.
Okay.
Sea of Galilee meditation. Then we are going back to the village.
I was expecting it to be freezing, but it wasn't. Oh, no.
It wasn't freezing?
Very warm.
Yeah? Then in that case, now you know that you are entering to the Jordan River.
In the summer, it would be even warmer.
Summer, it's amazing. I'm usually going to a 5 days vacation in October. And then the water is still good.
So 8 a.m. to 4:45.
Yes. No, that what it used to be.
That was what?
That's what it used to be. Now it's between 9 to 12
Oh, I see.
because of COVID.
I see.
I'm sending them
I
all.
love the way they did these blocks.
Oh yeah, black. It's basalted. Why it's black? Yeah, we are actually looking at black stones because it's a fault area. It's a basalt stones. Then now we know that why it's black, but you don't know why it's white.
Right.
Soon we will do that. You can understand that this is St. Peter himself, be the shipper of man, holding the keys to Kingdom of Heaven and St. Peter fish in front of him. For the Franciscans, for the Catholic, he is the first Pope.
Yeah.
For the rest, he's the leader of the 12.
Right.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then let's go
That is nice.
to the floating church. But before we're going to float with it, I want us to visit the house of St. Peter mother-in-law. Now, how do I know that St. Peter was so good and holy? He asked Jesus to cure his mother-in-law. I don't know. What do you think about mothers-in-law in Judaism? It's not so easy. I mean, she thought that I'm stealing her daughter. She's still thinking like that, although we are now good friends. Then let's see the house of St. Peter mother-in-law. Then, if it's okay by you, let's climb up. But so many things happen here. Do you remember the one who couldn't go out of the door that took him out of the roof?
Yes.
To be cured by Jesus. Lowered and down. And Jesus...
That happened here.
It happened here, and Jesus said Saturday. I mean, he cured again an unclean.
Right.
And the centurion servant.
Yes, the centurion.
What is centurion servant did? What is centurion actually doing? Remember, this is the highway.
Roman.
It's a Roman area, and he had to keep that everything will be okay.
Right.
But he
Now we
admired
know
his
why.
faith.
Sorry.
He admired his faith. He said,
Is it
people with that
my
kind of
yes?
faith.
Yeah, I think that's the reason that he was here.
Wow, this is floating.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I told you that it's a floating. Is it okay if I'm taking the video? Because it yeah, is it okay? Wait.
So then this is like an aqueduct.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like that. If you want to see how the house of St. Peter Mothers used to be look like, let's look at that. First of all, you can see that it's a basil stone, black stone.
I see.
Yeah. Secondly, you can see that there are 4 entrances, and even stairs to the second floor. That was a family house. Remember that we talked about how the Jews used to live. When the son got married, he brought his wife.
Yes.
Then it's like a family. And the same thing happened with St. Peter. But later on, they turned it into the first church ever. Because Jesus was here for 3 years. This is where that place was his center. And according to what the Franciscans believe, and I might say that they might be right, because we found graffiti from the 3rd century that mention our Lord and St. Peter there.
Wow.
And I think that even the Bible mentioned that they went out of the synagogue and then went to cure his mother-in-law.
Well, this is prime real estate. I mean, you're seaside, being able to preach towards the sea. It's just beautiful.
True.
Gorgeous area.
And the good thing is that the Franciscans knew that that place is important for so many. That they knew that if they will build a church, and the house will be part of it, a lot of the non-Catholic won't be able to see it.
One is also on the Roman road.
That's a main road.
Right.
We actually use the main road. Remember, Magdalene's part of it.
Exactly.
Then in that case, this is the house of his. Do you want to see it from the upstairs? And it's octagonal church, one of the first churches ever.
It's very large.
It is large.
When was this built?
That church, floating one.
This over here.
You're talking about the floating church? Oh, yeah, 1990.
Okay.
It's
So
totally
30 years
new.
old.
It seems new.
It is new. No, I cannot talk inside if there are people who praise there, or if the nun is
So
there.
this used to be the church.
Yeah.
So people lived in those areas too?
People yeah. I mean, people lived here. 1,500 people lived here. It was a very big village. 1,500 people lived here, but we didn't find any differences between the rich and the poor, which can be a very good idea that they actually lived in kind of a simple way and dedicated themselves to the spiritual.
Well, in the second chapter of Acts, it talks about they had all things in common And people sold their
All right.
stuff in India.
Now, there is a nun, yeah. I won't be able to talk, but what I want you to see, that we will reach the center, and we will see the house of St. Peter from above. And then I want us to make a round tour. You will see a beautiful church with a red dome. This is Capernaum by the Greek Orthodox, because the village was bigger than that. Part of it belongs to the Greek Orthodox, part of it not. You will be able to see the Sea of Galilee. And then we didn't talk about the synagogue, but I want you to notice what color the synagogue is. Then let's do that slowly and quietly. This is the house of St. Peter Mothers-in-law. You can take pictures. And around it, there's so many things that happen in Capernaum. Look at the beautiful synagogue. We'll talk about it soon. Oops. Go up to see the synagogue from there. It's beautiful.
They said they flew from Gainesville to Newark and flew out from Newark.
The couple. Then in that case, we ask ourselves, what is that white building? Everything is black here. Then the black stone is the local stone.
Okay.
White stone is not from here. Someone brought that white stone of the synagogue from far away. The question is why? The answer is we don't know. But what the Franciscans actually believes, that this is kind of a memorial synagogue that was built on top of the black synagogue that you will see soon from the time of Jesus. And that synagogue is between, let's say, from the 4th and 5th century. I can actually argue with it, because usually when they're building a memorial something, it's round, octagonal, just like the church that we visit now. Maybe we are talking about two groups, the Jews and the new Jews, which we can call it the Christians. Then this is the first church, which is a small house. Not so important, because it's not so strong. And maybe the Jews who lived here wanted to show them who he is really controlling that area, that they built a synagogue with white stones. Then I think my option is the same as the Franciscans' option. Choose whatever you want, but I think I know my people. Then it can be. It can be. Now it looks like a church. A church, you will see that it's a basilic structure with a nave and two corridors, but a church will face to the east. At the time of the temple, you could build a synagogue, and it didn't point to Jerusalem because it wasn't important. The temple was there. But now we do have a dilemma here, because the synagogue is facing to the north and Jerusalem is that way. But maybe because that synagogue was built in the first century when Jesus was there and the temple was there, they didn't know how to build it. Because now every synagogue is facing to Jerusalem. Then it's not east or west, it all depends when you are. Then let's go in, and sadly they did it before us. You know what? Let's go from the other side. Let's go in from the other side then. We won't be together with them.
Well, would the Jews have had the resources to be able to bring these stones here?
No, Jesus. Jesus didn't bring it.
No, I didn't say Jesus. I said the Jewish people.
Yes.
They would have had the
Yes.
resources.
Yes.
How
No problem at all.
The Romans had
How
the
would they
resources.
bring them?
Oh, it's like they would kill them at the area of Nazareth, and they will bring it slowly. The idea is to show them who's controlling.
Right.
It's like the one who's got the biggest house, the biggest boat. He's the one who controls the world.
Yeah.
In Jerusalem, you will see it. In Jerusalem, you will see synagogues and mosques. The mosque is higher. And we didn't talk about it, but next to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, you could see a mosque which is higher. To tell you who controls it,
Yes. With the power.
who's got the power. Then look up here if it is. Let's wait for the other. You can see the lower synagogue that was built at the time of Jesus, at the time of the temple. Then it's not so important where he's actually facing to. Above it, you can see the 4th or 5th century synagogue. Then you can see the difference here. Let's go in from the other side, because no, not from here, because they actually are, as I believe, very close to the entrance and don't want to disturb them as well. But look at the trees here. Look at the ficus trees. To have a mass, a ceremony here, it's absolutely lovely, especially when it's too hot. Then we ask ourselves why it was so. It was a rich place. But we're talking of fishermen. They're not so rich, but still it was rich people. It's on the highway, remember? Then they enjoy the benefit of it as well. But I want you to see another factory here. Can you see it? Do you know what it is?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What are those door tools?
No, grinding.
Grinding, yes, wheat. And remember what Jesus said? 2 people are doing it. One will stay with me, the other one will disappear.
Yeah.
Then it might be a factory of it, another reason to be rich, or maybe they grain the wheat of all the region here.
Right.
And fish.
Yes.
And on the highway, I mean, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
And still we didn't find any difference between the status of rich fishermen or poor fishermen. That is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, maybe they actually saw themselves as equal. I can show you that the black synagogue was bigger than the white one, because what you can see here are the stairs for the second story.
Yeah.
And we are talking about second story or 2 stories building. Today in the synagogue you are separating women and men, not in America. Reformed Jews are actually see the women as equal to the men as well. Then in that case, at that time, at the time of Jesus, we don't know. We have no evidence that women stayed in a different place. Then let's go from the rear entrance. Yes, please.
The ones that look like cones, those were the millstones. The
Yes.
grinding millstones that would go inside the.
True. You could
I always
see.
thought those were just flat and they would.
No, it's totally
they
not
were
flat. Yeah.
huge, yeah. I didn't know that. That's very. And those stones are very porous. They're almost like lava stones.
It is.
Tall.
It is. It is.
Right.
It
Remember
is.
Jesus said if you push your children away from you, it's better to tie yourself a millstone around your neck and get thrown into a lake.
Oh yes, he said it. Yes.
That's why I was asking, because those are big.
Those are heavy.
Yeah, but you can find maybe this is an industry one. Maybe there. I mean, for if you do have a house, you do have a small one. This is for. Remember, it's a factory.
Right.
It's not.
I'm amazed with this. How do they move these stones?
That's what I
That's the problem. I mean, think about
Get 'em up
the
there.
Jewish temple that he built. That King Herod built. That was even. I mean, you had to see the stones. We didn't visit the Western Wall tunnels. But you can see one of the stones is like starting from here, goes all the way, and it's one stone.
That was on the western wall.
Yeah, at the Western Wall, but at the tunnels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we didn't visit it because we had only one day in Jerusalem. Then, can we enter?
Yes.
I don't want to disturb him, then we will go to the left.
Steve, it's almost like a laser cut.
Let's stay there. Here you can see two inscriptions. One is very from the 20th century. The Franciscans who excavated here. The other one is his name is Herod, but not the Herods that we know who donated that column. One thing that it's very important to see that not like a church. Look where the people are sitting around. And there is a reason for that. Because when you study Judaism, you are doing it by preaching. And almost every chapter in the Bible, Jesus was preaching. Because there's no one way. There's always options. How to eat, what to eat, what to do, when to cure people. Remember, he cured here a guy on Shabbat. Now, to cure a guy on Shabbat, we talked about it, it's okay. If he's going to die now and it's an emergency, do that on Shabbat. But he was here, then in that case, he didn't walk. He reached that place before Shabbat because he cannot walk on Shabbat. Mm-hmm. And he will go out after Shabbat. Then, can he do that? Before Shabbat he will enter or after Shabbat will leave us? Then in that case, those are the dilemmas. Until today, when you're studying the Torah, the Talmud, the Mishnah, the oral books, it's like two students who are actually trying to convince each other that their way is the best way. Then if you are sitting like that, when someone is preaching, let's say Jesus was preaching, everyone could see him and everyone could be part of it. Then until today, in some of the synagogues, you could see that. The rest is not, but let's face it, when we entered to here, we actually thought that this is a church, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But not the church and not the synagogue took the structure from themselves. It actually came from the Romans who used it, a basilic style.
It does look very Roman.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful place, isn't it? And 3 years of his life, Jesus was here until he left that place and went to Jerusalem. This is the Holy Week that starts soon. Yeah, what about taking pictures now of each other?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
And let us go to see one more thing here. This is a part of the first century synagogue that they actually kept here for us. If you were talking about the energy of Christ, he was there. Now, how do we know that it's first century? Two reasons. First of all, when you are finding here, let's say, coins or pottery. Pottery, every few years there is a different kind of fashion, pottery fashion. Then they knew that this is for sure the first century synagogue, and this is the only synagogue that they found here. Then Jesus was here for 3 years, and the Bible mentioned that he came for the Galilee and went straight to preach on Saturday in that synagogue. Let us go out, please, if it's okay. Or do you want to pray a little bit?
Well, what did you ask? I didn't want to ask. Is it up? Is it up?
Yeah, but you can ask.
Well, I didn't want to ask a question.
Or then it's the Via Maris, the way of the sea, the highway of ancient time. You can see here a milestone.
Oh, yes.
It's in front of you. And that might be part of the Torah Ark, which was built just like the temple, the two columns of the temple, Boaz and Yachin, and maybe the Torah scroll was beneath it, made of wood. No, we didn't find it, but it's not from the first synagogue. Remember, it's limestone.
Right.
And look at the decoration, which is another reason for the Franciscans to say it's not a Jewish thing. They just won't do that. You should have no pictures, so no that, and a Star of David. But like million years before it became to be a symbol.
Right.
This is only for beauty.
I see.
Look at that column. First of all, a sundial in front of you.
Oh, that's good.
And look at that top column with a menorah
Oh, there.
and a shofar, a horn. And what the actual thing is, because it's not facing to Jerusalem, they had kind of a Torah ark on wheels. Then everyone entered to the synagogue, and then they close it, put the Torah ark, and people prayed through Jerusalem.
I see.
True or not, I don't know.
Right. Now more groups are starting to come.
Yeah, we were the first one, actually the second one. Yeah.
And these
But the first good group.
These stones or these bricks?
I love these.
They're so
It's hard to find.
Yeah,
symmetrical.
it is symmetrical. It was sand until 5 years ago, and then they started to renovate it, which was amazing.
But it's great.
That it is great, yeah. Then that was the video. If you want to subscribe my channel, please do that. I will be more than happy, and of course I will send it to you. Then you will get it. And thank you very much for being with me.